when I was in high school, I was leaving. It was like a high school basketball game, and I called my dad to come pick me up. Fucking 2 minutes later, his car rolls up. I was like, wow, that was super fast. And I, go up to the car. I open the door, and I'm like looking at my friends behind me. See you guys later. And I like close the door, and I like adjust myself, and I put my seatbelt on. And as I pull my seatbelt over my shoulder, and I look to my left, that is not my dad. It's just the same car. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Whipped Cream Salmon. I'm your host, Ronnie Sanchez. He is my co-host, Brian Bastanza.
I'm Brian Bastanza.
Yes, he is, and we together are Whipped Cream Salmon, the podcast where we talk about all things food, friends, and fuckery. And we got, a pod full of fuckery as per usual.
I got my finger guns out. Yeah, I'll holster them for now, but they might come out in a little bit.
Yeah,
sure.
Put those bad boys away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Dude, we're back in the stew.
We're back in the stew. I know it feels like it's been a really long time. I think we kind of started the pod same kind of way last week, but yeah, for the listeners, Brian was on vacation for like 2 weeks. I was on vacation last week, quote unquote vacation, visiting some fam. Yeah, it just
same.
Yeah, so we had recorded a couple episodes ahead of time, kind of moving things around, recording on weird days. But yeah, we should be back to our regularly scheduled programming, and yeah, I'm excited to get back into our usual flow of things here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been regular for everyone else. It's just been weird for us, and we like being weird,
Yeah, keep it weird.
But yeah, how was your trip?
It was good. It was fun. Got to see the fam. My niece is now a year old, so got to spend some time with her. I don't get to see her very often. She gives me the side eye a lot.
How's she doing? She can keep her head up straight for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. She's doing good. She's walking around, a lot of, talking. I don't always know what she's saying, but she's talking a lot. And yeah, she's a cutie. She's a cutie for sure. But yeah, I'm just spent the week trying to win her over, and she's just like very suspicious. She just kind of side eyeing you, watching you, and then anytime my mom or my sister would be like leave the room for a second, and she'd like realize she was alone, or like just with just the two of us. She's like, her eyes get really big, and she's like looking around, and she's like, "Mama, mama." It's like, okay, chill. It's like, somebody get back in here, please. But no, she's
terrified. I'd be scared if I was in a room alone with you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I couldn't even talk. So you imagine?
But
should we crack them open?
Yeah. Let's start that. Let's start with that. I don't actually know where this is. It's called Steamer Lane from Fonta, Flora Brewery in Nebo, North Carolina. I don't know where Nebo is, but it is a West Coast style Pilsner, dry hopped with Citra, HBC, and Strata hops. Whatever that means.
I didn't really know the West Coast had a style of Pilsner, to be honest.
Me neither. Kind of smells like an IPA. What are you drinking?
I had one of these last night in my sadness. It's called Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers. Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers. That all might be the name of the brewery.
Okay.
Intrepid Traditions Wheat Beer. That might be the name. Any of these words might be the name / might be the brewery. The tagline is "I'm smooth and weedy."
You are, yeah, you are.
It's a wheat beer. It's really good. I am weedy, dude.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, Brian's been a sad
I actually
boy.
really enjoyed this yesterday. I'm sad, dogging. Yeah, you will hear this on what's today's date? The 30th. Today's the 29th. This will release on the 5th. I'm either going to be very sad because the Yankees lost the World Series in 4 games in an embarrassing fashion, or by next week I will be the happiest boy because they will have done something that no team has ever done, which is come back from 3-0 to win it. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going to plan on taking some extra gummies tonight and drinking a few extra beers. And yeah, we'll just sail off into the sunset. So that'll be nice.
Take one. Maybe a gentleman sweep. Take one for the boys.
Yeah. I don't know. That might just prolong my weekend. So I have a buddy coming into town. My buddy, shout out Josh Rosen, is flying down from New York. We went to culinary school together.
The quarterback?
Is there a Josh Rosen who's a quarterback?
The quarterback, former quarterback of the Cardinals. Yeah, he was a bust. Anyway.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Just a couple years ago.
Anyway, really good friend of mine. Went to culinary school together, and he's coming down on actually Thursday night and spending the weekend here in Charlotte.
Okay.
And he's a big Yankees fan. I'm a big Yankees fan. I was like, I mean, he obviously booked this trip, not this weekend, but like, a couple months ago. And it was like coming up. And last week we're like, dude, we might be watching the World Series together when you get here. Could be great. Like, that would be so exciting for me because like I don't have a lot of like Yankee fan friends down here by any means. But now it's looking like we're not going to quite get there to Game 6. A couple
sad boys together.
yeah, we'll probably just be drinking on the couch. But it's okay. It's cool to get there. It's cool to get to the dance, I suppose. But it kind of fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know the feeling.
But tell me about some stuff you've been dining and eating and cooking potentially, and you were doing family stuff. But did you get to dabble do or anything like that?
A little bit. Yeah, we I got to go to the Chargers Cardinals game, Monday Night Football.
Oh, nice.
It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we lost. It was kind of bullshit, just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to go. I went with my dad and my brother-in-law, and we had a good time. Went golfing with my dad. I suck at golf, but I still had a good time.
Nice.
And then we grilled up some steaks at my sister's house. That was nice. And then my mom she wanted me to cook something for them, for my mom, my dad. She's like, when you're here, can you cook us something? But she just wanted me to like surprise them. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, and so I was trying to think of something to cook, and I wanted to do something a little different, and so I decided I was going to make drunken noodles. They're very unfamiliar with Thai food, and that seemed like a pretty good entry point, and I think they both had like pad Thai, but that was kind of like the extent of their like Thai food.
Well, pad see you up in this bitch. Let's go, dude. Party on.
So I made some drunken noodles, and that it was kind of fun. I had to take my parents to the Asian market.
Dude, that'll throw anyone for a loop. Like if you've ever been there and you're not like into culinary stuff, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I am in outer space right now. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I got to do that, and they were definitely like pretty lost in there, and I was like, looking for a couple ingredients that I needed. And then, my mom and dad, like, I'm like looking at bottles. I'm like, I know what I'm looking for. Like, if you haven't been in an Asian market, the sauce, like, aisle. I don't even know if you can call it like a sauce aisle because there's like multiple aisles with like that are just full of like different kinds of sauces and like fermented things, you know? And so like I knew what I was looking for. And my mom and just like kept like picking up things. She's like, "Oh, pad thai sauce," and she like picks it up, you know. And like I was like, "No, I don't. I'm not making pad thai." And then my dad's like, "Do you need points to his like stir fry sauce?" It's like, "Do you need stir fry sauce?" I was like, "No, that's for white people." I don't need that shit. It's like I know what I'm looking for.
It is
Yeah, it was
funny.
just
I mean, like, because it is sometimes fun to just pick up some random ingredients and grab them and bring them home. You know, like I've done that with not so much the sauces. I feel like you get into some risky business picking up some of those random items in the sauce aisle.
yeah.
I've definitely done that with like just random like noodles,
I
right?
definitely like to do that with noodles.
Because they're all there's so many different types of noodles in that aisle, and like a lot of dried, or they're all dried noodles, a lot of rice noodles. We wound up like picking up these like Cantonese noodles
Mm-hmm.
at one point that were really cool. They're kind of, I don't know if they're egg, they're yellow, and they're like kind of almost thicker, round, not like way thicker than like a spaghetti. But they cook really fast, and you can like saute them up, and they're really
Yeah.
cool. But you got the thick boys, right?
Yeah, I did. But to your point of like picking up different kind of noodles, I've like learned about several different dishes just by like picking up noodles in the Asian market that I was like unfamiliar with. Um, that video that you sent earlier, the very first video, God, I wish I knew how it's pronounced. It's called like japchae or something like that. It's a Korean, like they call it like a glass noodle, and it's like it's made from sweet potato. It's like kind of like silvery grayish in color, and it's semi translucent. And when you cook them, they like I don't know, they're like kind of like a clear noodle, which is why they call it a glass noodle.
Yeah.
But it's like a cold noodle dish. So, that was one that I'd never seen before. Picked that up and, you know, did the research and made that one afterwards. Also, when we were in Thailand, we went to that Korean restaurant and um, there were some noodles called jjajang, I think it's how you pronounce it. And they were like, it's like kind of like a black sauce and like pork belly on it. I don't know if you remember that one. That was
Mm-hmm.
the, the same
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Found some noodles, they looked dope, did the research afterwards, and made them at some other point. But no, it's a cool way to experiment with something new. It kind of like forces the hand a little bit. You're like, well, I bought them, so I might as well see what I can make with.
I just was reminded. I last time I was at the Asian market was probably 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I picked up, or no, I didn't pick up, but I did see in like the meat section they just had like giant bricks, like blood cake bricks,
Oh no
and
shit.
some of them were cooked and some of them were raw.
Ooh.
It's not like a bag of it's crazy. It's not like a bag of blood. It's like a brick, right? And it's raw and it's red. Like red as like the bill of your hat. And I did take a picture of it and I'll send it to you.
That's pretty gnarly.
But yeah, I wasn't on the gonna purchase it, but it was very interesting to look at for sure.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely intimidating. But yeah, anyway, so like I made the drunken noodles for my parents. It seemed like it was something approachable. Lots of basil. There's like cherry tomatoes in there. Um, so things that they're at least like familiar with, and they did both enjoy it. But it was funny because like my dad starts eating. He's like, "Oh, this is good," and then my mom, she's like, "Oh, this is delicious," and then she like immediately gets up, goes to the refrigerator, and grabs a bottle of soy sauce, and puts soy sauce on it. And I was like, just like, okay, whatever.
Well, you gotta be patient with it, like,
Sure, yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything. I just thought that was funny. Like,
yeah, for sure.
okay,
Have you made pastillo a few times, huh? I know
yeah,
that you showed me some videos of you making it at the crib. You think you've made it like 2 or 3 times, or you think you made it like
yeah,
a bunch of times? You think you're like figuring it out pretty well?
yeah. It's like drunken noodle, pad see ew. They're both like pretty similar. They have like subtle differences.
Oh, I thought it was the same. Is it not the?
No, then
I thought it was just the white boy way to say it.
I don't. No, I don't think that they're the same. Let's see.
Okay.
Drunken noodles are spicy and savory, while pad see ew is sweeter and saltier. Drunken noodles get their spice from chili and holy basil. Pad see ew uses a dark soy sauce and a touch of molasses for a sweet and savory balance. Pad see ew often has Chinese broccoli, while drunken noodles uses a variety of vegetables, which in my case was the tomatoes, and there's onions as well. So yeah, they're like they're kind
Nice.
of the same. They have the same noodles. They're like very similar in color, similar in like profile, like flavor profiles. But yeah, I think there's just subtle differences between the two. But
Gotcha. I was wrong on
like you
that.
said, I always just try to make something different. Pad see ew, like anything with like rice noodles that I've made multiple times, just because really haven't nailed it yet. I mean, I've gotten pretty close. I've made some good ones that I'm like pretty satisfied with, but they're always just kind of like, I don't know. I'm definitely getting better, but dude, the rice noodles are hard to work with. I know I've talked about it on this pod before, but something I discovered afterwards, this Thai YouTuber, the Hot Thai Kitchen, this Thai woman, she's laid out she had like 5 different kinds of like rice noodles, from like the very thin like angel hair style to like the thickest like widest ones, and she like showed the instructions on the back, and the instructions for like their cook time on all of them was exactly the same. So they just like recycle like the cooking directions or whatever. So like it'll say like soak the rice noodle for like 10 minutes for maybe for the angel hair, but the wide rice noodle, like that shit, you have to soak for like almost an hour before it's like usable. So it's like it's really kind of tricky to learn how to use. Like the instructions are very vague.
Yeah. And I've failed a little bit with them. One time, or maybe probably a couple times, honestly. Like where
Easy to do.
I was like, all right, I'll soak these, and I'm soaking these for a long time, and I probably soaked them for like I thought like 45 minutes or so. And these weren't the super wide ones. They were I don't know, I guess like pad thai kind of noodles. It's when I was making like pho.
Uh huh.
And they weren't even really ready after the long soak. And I wound up and like you have to like dip them anyway to serve pho, so I just like dipped them for like longer, I probably like cooked it for like maybe a minute and a half in the water, whereas like what I think is that it's really just supposed to be a quick like 15-second dip to get them hot. I wound up
Mm-hmm.
cooking them for like over a minute or whatever, and then I mean it was fine. It was fine, but definitely, yeah. And maybe you are supposed to at 10, because I was like, dang, these things are like for 45 minutes. They're just soaking here and they're not ready. Like that's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. And so I think different noodles are different too, right? So like, and we don't know like the brands like like they do. And if you do know, then you're like, oh, I'll get this one. These ones take longer to soak or whatever.
for sure. And the like the rice noodles that I was using, at least after they've been soaking for like an hour, like they're flexible, but like if you bit into it, it's still very much raw. Like it's not you like what actually like cooks the noodle. It's weird too, because like if you come from like a background like you and I, where we grew up eating a lot of Italian pasta, like it's very different. You obviously like you cook the noodle, and then you take the noodle and you put it into the sauce or whatever. And like maybe you like leave it al dente and then like take it from the water and straight into your sauce, and you like cook it, for another 2 minutes or something in
Right.
the sauce, and kind of bring it together. But with the rice noodles, like you're taking the noodle like straight out of room temperature water that it's been soaking in for an hour, and it's like still very much raw. And you're taking those noodles and you're throwing it into like a hot wok, and it's like it's almost like the excess water that's like falling off the noodle, as well as like the whatever like sauce mixture you're like pouring in there, like the steam coming off of that is what's actually like cooking the noodle. So it's like the noodle cooks fucking right away. Like once it like hits the wok and it's going, like it cooks really quickly. So it's just like an interesting thing to learn how to do. And if you don't soak it for long enough, then you throw it in there and you think you have this beautiful dish, and you plate it up and you bite into them and they're fucking raw still, and
Crunchy. Yeah.
they're really bad. So
I have a dumb question.
yeah,
Sorry.
no dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
Yeah, see, Brian has his hand up. Yeah.
So with with like a noodle, like say like a spaghetti or something like an Italian like dried pasta,
Uh-huh.
will that cook without like being submerged in water? Like if you put it in a steamer, that wouldn't cook, right? It needs the like water to be like, I don't think it's like fully absorbing, but it does grow in size.
Yeah,
Like
I would
best
think.
example is like a grain of rice, right? Like where it's like actually absorbing
Yeah.
the liquid and then it's cooking through. I'm not sure that you can just like cook a raw noodle to be like edible.
Yeah, that's funny. I think that I bet you could steam it and it would cook. It would probably take quite a long time. But I feel like steam would work
Maybe steam.
because it's moisture. But like I don't know. I don't know that you could just like yeah.
You can't put in. I mean, we've burnt plenty of pasta. Like you can't like put it in the oven. A dried noodle in the oven is just gonna
No.
be a dried
Except for
noodle.
what you know that like that weird like lasagna noodle that um the box is like ready to bake or something, and you basically like build the lasagna and then you put like the dry pasta on it, and then when you bake the whole thing it like cooks the noodle in the lasagna. Have you seen that?
It's like a sheet. It's a
Yeah.
lasagna noodle.
Yeah,
What is it like? Some like
it's just
American like make a lasagna in 20 minutes kind of product.
yeah.
R&D heavy noodles.
Ready bake. Yeah. I mean Berea, like
Yeah,
common. It says oven ready lasagna sheets.
interesting.
Um,
But
yeah,
same to your point. I mean, like
no
you have got
boil.
sauce in there. You might like cheese sauce. Maybe there's bechamel in there. Like that's gonna all help in the cooking process.
Yeah. Yeah,
As a,
it is. It's a weird thing. Like I've definitely seen um I've seen them like prepared, and it's like stacking dry lasagna sheets on your or in your casserole dish. It's just it seems like something you shouldn't be doing, but apparently works well. I don't know.
yeah,
Not something I'm into.
yeah, dude. I mean, we haven't really said it, but like we figured our topic for today was just gonna be our love for nudes.
Yeah.
You know, dried nudes, wet nudes, live nudes, all the nudes.
Yeah, when Brian and I were young cooks coming up, we I had always dreamed about opening up a noodle shop, and I'm saying this on the pod now. So if one of you motherfuckers opens up a noodle shop with this name, best believe we're coming for you.
Coming.
But yeah, our noodle shop was gonna be called Live Nudes, and I was gonna have like one of those like neon signs, out front. But
Mm-hmm.
it was NOODS,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, Live Nudes featuring the two nude dudes,
Yeah.
and we would be the nude dudes, slanging nudes.
So fun. Is there any like so there's like a really kind of shitty like pasta what's it called? Pasta Co. That's kind of by us and they just have everything, but it would be really cool to see like a restaurant concept that just had like all sorts of nudes from around the world, but like at like a high level. You know what I mean?
At a high
The
level, yeah.
yeah, or not like so high, like still casual, but like just really good, maybe like really good linguine and a really good pappardelle and like a really good like pad see and a really good like I don't know,
I was
just
gonna
like
say I'm pretty sure. Like I don't know
is
if
that too much?
no. Well, I mean you get into like a Chili's kind of vibe, but there was a spot in San Diego called the Old Spaghetti Factory.
Uh-huh.
It's a chain. I don't know like how far spread they are, but I'm pretty sure that it was one of the spots that their menu's like 20 pages long, and
Yeah.
then it gets to one point where there's like orange chicken on the menu. I was like, why the fuck are you guys selling orange chicken?
Yeah. Yeah, you probably got to stay in the concept, I just get so excited about some nudes,
It'd be cool. Like, I mean, there's a way you could do it, like the Fat Boy Izakaya, like we had that cacio e pepe, um, and it's a Japanese restaurant, and it was
Fire.
super dope. But it was like a ramen noodle cacio e pepe, and it was the best cacio e pepe I've ever had for sure.
Fire. Really good.
So good, so good.
Really
There's
good.
there's a new Chef's Table. I've only seen episode 1, but it's noodles like pasta.
Oh, really?
It might just be called Chef's Table Noodles actually, but
Oh, the whole show is noodles.
yeah, and I've only seen the first episode, but there's this guy. The name of the restaurant is Funky, Funke. Um, his name might be like Evan Funky or something like that. Anyway, this dude went to Italy, learned how to make pasta from these like grandmas, um, and then now he opened up this restaurant in Los Angeles, and they just make beautiful handmade pasta, and it's super dope, super cool. He he's got these these like old Italian ladies that work with him, and they roll out all their pasta by from scratch and fold them up by hand, little intricate, you know kind of like tortellinis but like really tiny. Yeah, and then his pasta is just beautiful. Actually, Dave Chang had him on one of his dinner time live episodes just recently. I saw.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We love David Chang.
Yeah.
Is a dumpling a noodle?
No.
Sometimes it kind of is very fucking close though, right?
I mean the skin. Yeah, I mean,
Well, how about those like soup dish, right? It's like a soup dish. It's like chicken broth, and then you have these. They're dumplings, but they're basically like a little like chunk of ground meat and seasoning, and it's like rolled in a uh, maybe like a wonton wrapper or kind of a noodle. It's a dumpling wrapper, and but like the ends are left open, right? And it's just like
yeah,
it's like wonton soup, right?
yeah.
Or like that. It's right there in that moment. You're like, oh, this is a noodle. Like there's like no.
Is a tortellini a noodle?
I think a tortellini's a noodle. Ravioli's a noodle. Uh,
It is. A ravioli is a
well,
sandwich.
I guess
A, ravi-
I
a
guess I was just
ravioli
thinking that.
is an uncrustable.
is is pasta and noodle different? You can't.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't even really think about that. I guess you're saying like a noodle is something long and
yeah,
thin.
yeah. Ravioli is an Italian uncrustable.
Like is a penne a noodle?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus, dude! I've never even like
Jeez, a
took my brain to
wormhole.
go to this place. Yeah, tortellinis. I mean, now I have all sorts. Like macaroni is like not a noodle now. Holy shit, dude!
No, because it's a macaroni noodle. But you don't say a ravioli noodle. I mean, fucking crazy. He'd lock you up if you said something like that.
But is
Put
it
this
because it's
person in the
sealed?
loony bin.
Because it's sealed.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what a noodle is, dude. We're trying to be passionate about noodles. We don't even know what it is.
It is a pasta.
Yeah. So then a dumpling's a pasta.
A
Then that's what you're
dumpling is a
telling me.
pasta. Yeah, I think I can get behind that.
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
What's your favorite like comfort food pasta dish?
I really love like a pappardelle, or
Mm.
same thing. I think it's also why I love like the like pad see ew, those kind of noodles. You know, the dry ones, you can only get them like, I don't know, they're like a quarter inch wide or something. But like if you get like the good ones from a good Thai place, they're like fucking 2 inches wide, like big sheet noodles.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit. Same with a pappardelle. There's something that's just, it's so satisfying eating like just a big ass noodle like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, ravioli is like. What about like a lasagna is special. Like when you have like a really good one. I haven't done this, but I
Yeah,
keep seeing these videos of these people who like make this big brick lasagna and then they like cut it down and serve it and like kind of like sear it with the layers down in the pan and then serve it on like they put a plate down, they put some tomato sauce down, they put this like beautiful seared brick of lasagna on top of that, and then like a bunch of grated cheese and maybe some olive oil on top, and it looks like really, really dope.
yeah,
I'm more of like scoop, give me a spoon, and I'll just work on that corner for a little bit, you know.
yeah.
Um, because I've never really done like a high. I don't know that I've ever done like a high end lasagna or like even really served it in a restaurant. It's always been a family meal.
Yeah, I don't, I don't think I've ever worked at a place where we did lasagna. It's a
Yeah, it's
tough one
hard
to
to do. It's
execute.
hard to do. But in with you do using it or doing it that way, where you just prep a big lasagna and then you're just cutting bricks, like that's actually like a um pretty easy pickup. Actually, you
Right,
just have you like can't run out, obviously.
for sure.
Yeah. Um, man, I love like the brothy ones. You know, as far as like comfort food goes, like give me
Yeah,
ramen or like pho any day of the week.
yeah,
Um, I don't want to upset my Italian brethren. Um, because I love like some linguine, dude. Or like,
linguine's great. A tortellini soup is delicious too, though.
yeah,
I get behind a tortellini soup.
dude. You know what Sam had when we were in Boston? She just had mussels fra diavolo, and
Oh
like
yeah.
that shit is so good. I love like a linguine fra diavolo. That shit
Hmm.
is so good. Yeah, for people who don't know, like spicy seafood red sauce, so good. I love red sauce and seafood. It's a good time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Not noodle esque, but cioppino or a bouillabaisse
Yes.
is like
Thank you.
so high on the list. You know.
I think earlier today I was trying to remember the name bouillabaisse, and I could
Mm,
not fucking remember it for the life of
mm,
me.
mm-hmm.
Um, because bouillabaisse and cioppino are like very similar, and at PJ's we were running a bouillabaisse, and we just couldn't fucking sell it at all. And it was like, dude, this is such a banger of a dish. Like, um, actually, we had romesco on that dish,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just like could not sell it. And then we changed the name to Cioppino, and it sold like crazy.
Really, I would have
Yeah,
thought that bouillabaisse was the more
more common.
common name, but I guess I don't know.
I could be mistaken, and it could have been Cioppino, and we changed to Bouillabaisse, but I'm almost positive it was Bouillabaisse, and then we changed it to Cioppino, and it sold like crazy.
That's interesting. I mean, that's on servers, right?
Could be.
I don't know. I do get that. Like when you have a menu, like the way that it's written is ultra important, right? And like
Yeah,
if you want something to sell, but like you don't know how to put it on the menu, like you don't know how to write it, it can bomb really easily. It doesn't matter what the dish is. Um, but at a really nice restaurant, or like with, or I should say, like a restaurant with a really competent staff, like should be able to like get people to buy those things. Even so, you
yeah,
know, I mean, it's not going to happen at the same rate as a really like popular item that's written on the menu really well, but you would think that like you would still slang some of those. So good.
My one of the previous restaurants I worked at, I really liked the way that they wrote the menu because they're just super vague about everything. Like some places they just like you don't need to list every single ingredient that is on that thing. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I think it really works to their favor, and especially with like, dude, so many people like if you list every single thing, and they're like, furikake, what is that? I don't know what furikake is. No furikake, please. It's like, well, like that was kind of an important part of this dish. Like,
Right, and it was just a seasoning that went on top. So like,
right, and like the only
yeah,
reason that you didn't want it is because you didn't know what it was. But like, had they not had that listed on the menu, they probably just would have fucking eaten it, you know. And I don't know. I think
that's a great point.
yeah, I think sometimes it's better to kind of leave it up to the imagination. And if it's like you have like a food allergy, or like there's something that you really don't like, I can speak up, and be an adult about it, and tell them that I have a seafood allergy, or I have this allergy, whatever, peanuts or gluten or whatever it is. I think if you have a seafood allergy, like you're probably not going to say like leave out the fact that there's shrimp on the dish. That's probably like a selling point, but I don't think every little detail of the dish needs to be listed out on the menu. It's
Sure.
my take on that.
Jason Schultz once was telling me that he was working at a restaurant, and they would just like go so vague with the menu, right? Like they would say like
Yeah.
it would be like New York strip, potato, and carrot. But then they would wind up doing these crazy things with these ingredients, right? It was like a high-end restaurant. Like it would just all it would list was potato on it, but like you would get like au gratin or something, right? Or like it just say like broccoli, but they wound up doing this like crazy like broccoli preparation or whatever it was. But and also like from a selfish like cook's perspective, like or a chef's perspective, really, like if you can't get a thing, say like the purveyor just doesn't have the thing, you couldn't get it, or for whatever reason, or you just run out of something, right? You like 86 something. It's like people are running into the door for every reason on a Tuesday and you don't know why. Like you can just whip something up that subs in its place and no one's even the wiser. Whereas like when you have to explain to a guest that you don't have the thing, that looks way worse than just like, oh, now we're serving um, you know, steak frites, or right?
Yeah.
Or now we're serving like mashed potatoes with this dish. No one even knows. The server, it's up to the server then to communicate that though. And not every serving staff is capable of doing that. Obviously, like there's different types of restaurants. There's really busy restaurants where you don't have like really the time. Like, I don't want to say that, but like, yeah, there's some places where you have like 6, 7 tables, and you just like you can't explain every dish to every person. Oh, what is the potato served with this thing? Like, you know, that's what the menu's there for in a lot of those places. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do think that that's a pretty cool way to go about it.
Yeah. No, it's something I always admired. And I know I've mentioned it on this podcast, but it's all about, you know, cooking with conviction, and like cooking food that you believe in. And, you know, you, like I said, you don't have to, like, the magician doesn't reveal how he does his trick prior to doing the trick, or sometimes at all, oftentimes at all, just, and those are the kind of diners, like in a place like that, it was more an upscale kind of fine dining place. Like those are the kind of diners that you really want to attract anyway. You know, people that want to be cooked for, and
Sure.
you know, obviously it's worked out for them. They've been open for a long time, so
For sure. I want to be cooked for. I don't care. I mean, like, sometimes there
yeah,
are moments when I'm like really excited for a specific dish and I'm going to a place for a certain thing. Those times are generally like kind of those maybe counter service type places, or like kind of like, oh, like same kind of thing. Like, oh, this place has a really good pho. Like, let's go get like a noodle bowl, But like when I go like out and you like go to a coursed dinner, where you're gonna get like 2 or 3 or potentially more courses, like I'm into the experimentation of it. That's why I want to be there, you know? I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
there to be like, oh, I'm gonna get going into it, you're gonna get a steak and potatoes and green beans. Like, yeah, steak and potato and green beans is pretty cool, but like I could do that better at the house than you can probably do it.
Yeah.
That's really how I feel, you know?
Yeah. That it's kind of old school. Well, it's definitely old school, and it's something that's definitely fading. But nothing is worse to me than you go to a restaurant and I order the halibut, right? And then you order the ribeye, and then we have the same steamed vegetables on our plates, or it's like
Mm,
same like sautéed, I don't know, zucchini or whatever it is. It's like this has clearly just been like scoop and served. It's probably been sitting in a steam well kind of thing. It's just like no imagination to it at all. That's awful for me.
that's that Applebee's shit right
Or
there.
everyone has like the same kind of rice. It's like your protein, the same kind of rice, and then like steamed vegetables. Get the shit away from me. That's awful.
Yeah. At the same time, like at the house, I would fuck with that.
Sure, yeah, it's at your house,
I mean,
and
right. But I'm fully in agreement. It's like when you're just like, oh, I mean, you should be cross utilizing stuff and like you should be sharing some stuff. Usually just like the raw ingredients. I shouldn't say that. Depends on the type of restaurant. You know, in certain types of restaurants you can get away with like a sauce can be used cross utilized for multiple things, you know, or like
mm,
a garnish can be used for multiple things. Like I don't want to like put down anyone that's doing that. At a high end place, if there's mushrooms on the menu, maybe you have these beautiful chanterelles on the menu. Maybe you use them in multiple places, but like they're prepared completely differently for the two
yeah,
dishes. You know, maybe they're used like maybe they're just like the big beautiful ones you can use as like a big presentation to go along with your steak or your piece of fish, and then maybe you have some like little shadier ones that you wind up chopping up and using for a duxelle. I'm not sure I would duxelle a chanterelle, but like some other sort of like prep for that thing.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I was in where was I? There was some restaurant I was at, and it was a fairly expensive restaurant, and it was kind of in like a tourist trap kind of vibe. And it was set up like that where it's like everyone at the table orders something, and then plates come out, and everybody's plate looks exactly the same for the most part with like different proteins on it. It's like you had the snapper, I got the halibut, you got the pork chop, you got the chicken, and we all have the same fucking sides. You know, it's lazy to me. I
Mm-hmm.
think uninspired. I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
work at a place like that.
but are we like fooled by like the Asian restaurants that do that shit though?
Do you have an example?
Do they like pull the veil in, or do they do that same thing and like um? Well, I mean, obviously, like you're gonna get rice, so that's like I know
Yeah,
that
but
that's not
that's
the same, but that's just like a vehicle for the sauce a lot of times and the topping, you know.
right.
Um, I mean, everything can come out with fried rice at a hibachi place, and you wouldn't bat an eye at it, right? You'd be pretty
Yeah,
stoked. I mean, that's
but
different. That's a
are you
different
really
kind of
going to a
experience,
hibachi for like the food though? Doesn't
dude. I kind of fuck with hibachi, dude. You know what I mean?
sometimes it can be pretty good, but I mean like it's also you're
I
going
haven't
there for
been
the
since I was probably
show.
like, yeah,
You're
but
going
like,
there you're going there for the onion volcano and the fucking the beating fried
yeah,
rice heart and the little choo choo across the thing and fucking throw shrimp in my face.
but like,
You
isn't
know?
that fried rice some of the best fried rice you've ever had, though?
Um
I mean, I know you can do all the
Gosh,
same
it's
things
been
in a
so
wok.
long
I
since
I
I've
get that.
been. Yeah, I think it's good.
It's hot. That thing's fucking hot. It's fucking 800 degrees.
It's definitely hot.
Um, it's hot. I just think it's no, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I agree with you. I think it's like it is a tourist attraction
You're
in a
going
lot
for
of
a show,
ways.
right?
You are going for the show, but the rice is really good, you
The
know?
rice is good. The rice is good.
The rice is really good. Um, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know. At the Vietnamese place, you'll get the same side of, toppings or whatever, right? But that's not really equivalent either, right? You'd have your bean sprouts and your Thai basil and all that stuff, but that's not really saying the
No.
same thing.
And also like white rice. If you're getting like a side of like white rice, everyone's getting white rice. Like it, like you said, it's just like the vehicle of it for that dish, right? It's like it's just a staple. But if it's like a prepared like rice pilaf or something, and everybody at the table is getting the same fucking rice pilaf, like that's something
Mm.
that like you prepared in a certain way, as opposed to just like the rice being cooked in like a rice cooker or something. Which,
What?
no shame there. I
God,
fucking love white rice in a rice cooker. It's great. One of my favorite starches. But yeah, I don't know. I do think there is a difference.
what about a banquet?
Well, it's different too, right? Like, I mean,
It is.
you're serving that doesn't bother me
I
because
would almost say like you should. I would also even push further and be like, no, there should be different starches on those dishes. Chicken and beef,
oh
fish.
yeah no okay yeah no I
You're not gonna peel off me on both of those. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah no I agree. I was just yeah I guess I wasn't thinking across the different proteins. Yeah, and with all the banquets we did at PJ's, like we always had different starches or different veg
mm-hmm.
from the rice or from the chicken to the salmon or whatever we were doing. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking like, well, if everybody has the chicken, then they should all have the same sides. But no, I understand what you're saying there, and yeah, I
Yeah,
totally I totally agree with that as well.
yeah.
Banquet food can be so bad too.
But it can be really good. I mean, I've had some. I went to a couple weddings the past couple weeks. I had some really good banquet food. I think at PJ's we did a really good job. I mean, it's a different type of service. I mean, you're preparing all this stuff either like well ahead of time or like all at the same time, and then kind of serving over. Sometimes, I mean, depending on how large the event in, I mean, service might take 45 minutes. If it's like a 300-person wedding or something, you know what I mean? Like, or if you're doing salad and soup and salad and entree and then like dessert service, or it can be a long drawn out service with that many people.
That's true. Yeah, my cousin when she got married years ago, I heard afterwards that like the kitchen like ran out of food or I don't know what was going on. I don't know how you fuck that up. Like you know how many people are showing up to a wedding, but my I think I had like a steak or something and it was like came with asparagus. When my asparagus came out, they were raw. Not even like, oh, they didn't cook them long enough. I mean, they fucking opened those things up, took the rubber band, and put them on the plate because they were not cooked at all. Not blanched, not fucking peeled.
Because it was took a while.
Dude, they were just raw. They I don't know what was going on in the
Like
kitchen.
everyone got raw. Like,
I don't know if everyone did. I know for sure on my plate, those were straight out of the walk-in. Took the rubber band off and put them on my plate.
that's crazy.
They were straight up raw. It was crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That sucks. Nudes are hard to do at a banquet, huh? You can do pasta salad and shit. That's easy. You can do
Yeah.
some ZDs and stuff probably. Those are hard. All right, let's quick rank some of our top 5. No, let's do Mount Rushmore of nudes real quick, dude. Nude dishes.
New dishes. Okay.
Nude dishes. Yeah.
Okay. You started off.
Okay. I'm gonna go seafood fra diavolo with linguine.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one. Um. Yeah, I'm gonna go think I'm gonna do a pad CU.
Yeah.
Fucking love that dish. Dude,
Yeah.
a good one
Wonderful.
is so good.
So
There's a
good.
spot by us that they like really get the good like char on the noodle. Which is it's called the wake, which is it's as far as I can gather, it's like the equivalent to like the crispy rice, the socarette on the paella. It's like that kind of equivalent because like the char on the noodle that happens when you like flare up the pan or your wok. The noodle gets charred and it just like unlocks this whole other depth of flavor. And there's a place by us that does a really great job of it. And whenever I go there, I always want to order something else because I'm interested in the rest of the menu, but I just can't help myself and I have to order the same pad see every time. Um, because it's just so fucking good. It unlocks the same part in my brain when I'm eating like a really good brisket where you're just like you're eating it and you're like kind of like melting and you're just like how could like there's nothing like nothing could taste better than what I'm tasting right now, you know? And it's a perfect bite. I love
Dude,
that dish.
how about that like brisket? Was it a Thai restaurant in Portland I sent over to you? Dude, that
Yeah,
looked
that looked
crazy.
insane.
That looked
Yeah,
crazy.
Brian sent me this video of there's a Thai restaurant in Portland, Oregon that does like it's like Thai barbecue fusion, and they do like brisket and I don't know all kinds of shit, but with like
Fire.
Thai flavors. Yeah, it looked insane.
Looked fire. I'm gonna go. I mean, I don't know how specific we're really getting, but as far as like dishes go, I'm just gonna go with like a just like a pork ramen. Give me that fucking like rich broth with like a soft boiled egg and a fucking beautiful noodles. Well, I'll always think about that spot in Bangkok with those fucking homemade like ramen noodles and yeah, I put that on Mount Rushmore for sure.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, and I mean obviously like well, I guess the same could be said about any of the ones we've said so far. So I was just gonna say like you could do so many different things with ramen, but obviously you could do so many different things with the fucking other dishes that we've talked
Sure.
about too. So, oh gosh,
Is there anything outside of Asia and Italy that needs to get hit?
I know that's what I'm trying to think right now. My neighbor's bringing in their trash cans, making all kinds of noise out there.
Making a ruckus. I bring the motherfucking ruckus.
Yeah, making a ruckus. I have one in my mind. I don't know if it's worthy of being on this list. It is a banger though.
Okay.
I might like say this and we'll end the podcast and I'll be like, damn it, why did I say that? Because I'll think of something way better. I'm gonna go with mac and cheese.
Oh snap! Oh snap! It's such a banger.
Is that a good one?
You can go
That's
so hard with it, dude. Like you really can, and if you do it well, like I don't know that I've been happier than when I've had like mac and cheese in my mouth.
a really good mac and cheese. When we made a smoked poblano mac and cheese with as a side with our brisket. That was ridiculous. It was so good.
Yeah, really good. Again, but like we might need to fact check that because now I'm not sure that macaroni is a noodle at all.
It's definitely a noodle. I think it says macaroni noodles on the box.
I'm gonna fact check you live while we're doing the pod right
It's
now.
definitely a noodle. Is macaroni a noodle? For sure.
It's a pasta.
A pasta noodle.
Here's a whole article: noodle versus pasta. What's the difference?
Oh my gosh. We don't have the time for this. The Yankees are going to be losing any minute now.
We have an hour, for them to start losing.
All right, we got plenty of
Unfortunately,
time for Brian to Google noodles.
macaroni is a type of pasta, not a noodle. While both are made from
Shut
dough,
the
pasta
fuck
is
up.
typically made from durum, wheat, and water, whereas noodles can be made from a variety of flour and ingredients. That doesn't really help me that much. I
This is
want
awful
to dig
news.
deeper, though, to find out more about this, though. The
This
great
is
news
awful.
is we can continue to love macaroni and still leave a spot on our noodle, Mount
Okay.
Rushmore.
All right, that's fair.
And for the record, though, like, I think it's a great choice. I don't think there's anything regrettable about mac and cheese ever.
All right, so
For the
mac
record.
and cheese gets an honorable mention.
Sure. Yep.
At another restaurant I worked at, we had it was a duck confit mac and cheese with like wild mushrooms, and like it was like shallots and thyme. Dude, that was a banger. That was a really good. Yeah, love that. Brian's dancing for that one. It was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nasty. In the best way.
Now I gotta think of another.
I got one.
What do you got?
You want it? I think you're gonna like it. We've already talked about it on the pod.
All right.
What about some cow soy?
Yeah, it's cow soy. Yeah, you're right. Thailand takes 2 of the heads. Cow soy is such a good one.
To leave pho out is tough.
Yeah. Have you made?
I haven't yet. I keep looking at.
No.
I keep staring at me in the face, and I had like a bunch of chicken thighs this week, and I wound up just pressure cooking them. So I don't have any left right now, but I am going to get. Was it thighs is the best for that? Do you think?
Well, I mean, I think they like traditional like a drum or something, but it's kind of hard to eat with the bone in, you know.
A drum. I think I might have some
Yeah.
drums in the freezer. Maybe I'll pull those out tonight.
Yeah, send it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Great job. I think it's a great list.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Proud of you.
Shall we continue on?
What are you? Idiot.
You stupid idiot!
I'm an idiot sandwich.
You're an idiot! Of all the idiots, you stand alone.
The idiot sandwich.
The idiot sandwich. You got one?
Yep.
You want me to go?
No, I can.
I have a noodle. You want to go?
You got a noodle
Okay.
related. Okay, I'll go first. So Brian had to remind me. We do this every week, and you see so many dumb things happen in the kitchen over the years, and now we're on episode. This is episode 18, right? That we're recording.
Yep, 18.
So that's almost 40 idiots that between the two of us we've come up with. We worked in the same place a lot of times, so like some of these like we both were there for, like I feel at some points like I am running out of dumb shit to talk about, or dumb things that we've witnessed, and then every once in a while something, little birdie, Brian says a little something, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that individual, and I do remember something stupid that they did. So at Plumpjack, we had this maintenance guy. His name was Tommy T.
Say his name.
Tommy T. And at one point in time, Tommy T was the town drunk, and then he got sober. And I don't know if it was better or worse after that. But he was a character, to say the least. And every day we put up family meal, and he was the first one there, right? What's for lunch? And every day I told him the same thing. I said, it's chicken parm. Or he would like stand over, he'd like hover over it, kind of staring, scowling at it. And he'd go, what's this? I go, chicken parm. And it would be anything but chicken parm. And, one day it was fucking boiled hot dogs or something. And just being silly. I don't know if you've seen those like like kids craft videos or something, and they like cut the hot dog in half, and then you like cut it to make it look like an octopus. You know, like cut the legs, and then they boil it, and the hot dog legs like coil out. I made one of those. It was just kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
So we have probably like 25 hot dogs in a tray, and then one of these little fucking hot dog octopuses. And I took cloves and I stuck them in to the hot dog as the eyes. And it was just something funny to put on the family meal shelf. Tommy T, being the first one in line, sees all the hot dogs, grabs the octopus hot dog with the clove eyes, holds it up and goes, "What's this?" And I said chicken parm. And he fucking popped this whole thing in his mouth and just crunches through the cloves. And you can tell that he's just struggling. And he just swallowed it and then proceeds to just make himself another hot dog. And just like hands up, like, what the fuck, man?
Dude's a fucking beast.
It clearly wasn't for you to eat, man. So yeah, Tommy T, idiot sandwich. What a guy.
First idiot sandwich for Tommy T.
Yeah, there'll be more.
There'll be more coming. There'll be more to come.
I kind of forgot about Tommy T for a minute, but I got more.
Yeah, that's great.
What do you
so
got?
actually, speaking of Tommy T, we were living in the same house together in at the Plump Jack house.
It's insane, by the way. Okay, different. Okay,
separate apartments, 3 apartments. We weren't like roommates or housemates, or I guess we were housemates, not roommates. But
bunk buddies.
Anyway, the story doesn't have anything to do with Tommy T. This is when I was like actually like starting to look for other jobs, or I was actually like learning to like code and stuff, and I was in my like coding class, and I had like a lecture that I was attending, but I had started making fresh pasta that evening, and so I like made the dough basically, and I may have done like a first rollout, but I don't even think I did that. I think I just had like dough that was sitting out. I'd made it earlier in the day, but like pulled it out of the fridge, and it was sitting out, and my call was going longer than expected, and Sam was getting hungry, and she's like, "Can I roll this?" And I was like, gave her the headphones on, like listening thing, and I gave her a thumbs up, and she starts rolling away. And she's like, what do I do? And I was like, just roll it till it's super thin, like paper thin, cut it, and then it's going to go in boiling water, 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. That's a lot to express just in words for someone who hasn't done it before. And so she starts doing it. She makes the pasta. And also, to be fair, like a noodle, when it gets cooked, like plumps up a lot, right? So it's like however thin you think it needs to be, like it probably needs to be thinner than that. These were thick boys. We'll call it that, right? These were probably like, I mean, not the thickest thing you've ever seen, but like when we're talking about pasta that needs to be paper thin, these are probably like, I don't know, if I'm like thicker than a quarter.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe even like maybe like a quarter and a half, or like 2/4 thick. Like we're talking like pretty thick. And she cuts them up and she cooks them in the boiling water, and by the time they come out, they're like big fat noodles, right? Like they're like as thick as like the cord of like my headphones right here. They are thick. And there was pasta, there was like noodles, there was there was sauce already, so like serves them, and they're so thick that like the 4 minutes didn't even really like cook them, right? And like so you're like, I was like bite into them, and they're like kind of like raw in the middle,
like
almost
the raw
like
flour in the middle.
It's not like raw flour, but it is like kind of like crumbly
raw
like
dough
that
on the inside. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And we called them I mean, it wound up being like pretty tasty. It was good dough, and it was a good sauce and everything. It was good salted water and all that. But we called it deep dish pasta. And for all that, this noodle related idiot sandwich goes to my love, Sammy Guidi. Congratulations.
Sammy. To her credit, I've done something very similar and just
Yeah.
like tried to make pasta at home or something, and like I forget, it's ringing in my memory that I know I made pasta that was way too thick at home, and I can't remember what the reasoning for it. I think I like didn't have a rolling pin or something, and I was like making do with whatever I had. Same thing. Thought it was like going to be thin enough, and it just absolutely wasn't. And it's just like, I love that the deep dish pasta.
Yeah.
That's really
It
funny.
was really funny. It was good. And we had a good laugh for sure. But congratulations. That was awesome.
Congratulations, Sammy. It's the effort that counts.
Should we go to school?
Let's go to school. School's in session. Everybody get in.
School is in session.
How do you do it? Let me hit you with some knowledge. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
You got a good tip?
Yeah, I can go ahead, I think. Yeah, I was kind of struggling to come up with a tip today as well. The tip that I have, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about menus being vague, is unless you're like allergic to something, or I don't know, have a real reason to modify a dish when you go out to a restaurant, don't modify it. Try to, put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on. Like I don't like olives. Well, maybe there's olives in the dish and it's not really like meant to be eaten like the olive by itself. Maybe they're like chopped up in the dish or something, and they add a little bit of like brininess, saltiness, bright, flavor to the dish that balances the dish as a whole. Put a little faith in the cooks and the chefs at the establishments that you're eating at, and give them a shot. And also, if you spend your whole life being like, I don't like this thing, well, maybe you don't like it because you grew up having shitty canned green beans or something, and that's why you don't like green beans.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't really like beets, but I've had some beets that I've enjoyed. And
Dude, give it to me layered with some goat cheese and so, like some orange zest in there and like a little app, Yeah, turn it up.
yeah, grow up. Stop modifying shit unless you're allergic and you get a pass. But if you're not,
Nice.
grow up. Be a man or a woman.
Be whatever you want to be, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, just stop modifying food.
Okay.
And that's my tip.
Thank you, Professor Ronnie. Professor Nude.
You're welcome.
I love that. That's great. I got one here. And this is also semi-noodle related, so let's go. My tip is about presenting food, and it's really about stacking your ingredients on the plate to make it appear taller. This goes from anything for, cooks will know this already, but like a salad, don't just like take your bowl of salad and like tilt it onto a plate and just have it just be this flat mess all over the plate. Get yourself some tongs and like take a big old scoop of your salad, put it in the middle, take another scoop, put it on top of that. Before you know, you have this really beautiful, tall salad presentation. That goes for noodles for sure, right? Like take, maybe you have some linguine in a pan that you just got done saucing. Take your like tongs, you kind of spin it, you put it in the middle of the plate, you let them go. You take another little whipper, you put it into the middle of the plate again. You have this like nice tall presentation. That's like, I think it's something that's taught early on when you get into restaurants, but for many people who never work in the back of the house of a kitchen, I think that's good, really easy way to like make a more nice presentation out of your food you're serving.
Yeah. Make your food more nice. And on that note, school school is over.
School's out for summer.
Go home now. The buses are here.
Where's your parents, Ronnie?
Dad. It's funny. When I was in high school, I was leaving. It was like a high school basketball game, and I called my dad to come pick me up. Fucking 2 minutes later, his car rolls up. I was like, wow, that was super fast. And I, go up to the car. I open the door, and I'm like looking at my friends behind me. See you guys later. And I like close the door, and I like adjust myself, and I put my seatbelt on. And as I pull my seatbelt over my shoulder, and I look to my left, that is not my dad. It's just the same car. And, it was another parent that was picking up his daughter or whatever. But I was very embarrassed. Got out of the car really quickly.
That's so good. You even say hi?
I think I made a noise as I went, oh. I got out of the stranger's car immediately.
That's great. Well, on that note, thanks everyone for listening, tuning in with us. We appreciate you. It's good to see you. I feel like we're going to be back on a more regular schedule, so that'll be awesome. Weekly records will be nice. But thanks for everyone for tuning in. Like, rate, subscribe, follow, share, do all the things. And just know that when you stare up at the moon, that some noodle boys are staring up at that moon too.
Love that. And also shout out to our new listeners in Australia and Morocco.
Ooh.
So,
all right. All righty then.
Yeah. Cheerio. Throw another shrimp on the barbie. Love you guys.
All right. Cheers.